That man right there is Terrence Smith. And this is the Great Debate Show. And we're back, better than ever, up in this bitch with a brand new episode. And we're here to talk about a lot of stuff that's going on in the NFL, all this breaking news and updates. People have got paid, people have got released, people are requesting trades. Everything is happening right now in the
Hey
NFL.
man, this is
And we
one of the most interesting times of the year.
It is, man, because the offseason is officially underway and we've got the draft coming up. The combine just ended. Free agency is coming up. The new league year is about to pop. And it always pops off with a bang. Who knows what's going to happen? Who's going to go where? We've got some information for you that we're going to share with you today. What's the greatest heel turn ever? A lot of people, Terrence, are on the internet saying this Cena turn, this Cena heel turn. Is it Cena? Is it Hogan in '96 Bash at the Beach? Is it Roman Reigns? Is it somebody else? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and we're gonna tap into that to it a little bit later in the show. But first, let's just get started with the news, the latest news that I've got right now coming out of Minnesota. The Minnesota Vikings. The talks are that the Vikings may still sign Sam Darnold, and the reason why I want to touch on it just for a minute is because it was said as soon as the football season ended, JJ McCarthy is their guy, Terrence, and
Right.
he's the second-year pro. It was unfortunate that he got hurt his rookie year, but they're going to
Mm-hmm.
move on, which makes sense to me. Sam Darnold, hey man, he overachieved. They got the most out of him. Hang around and be the backup if it's a good at a good price, at a decent
Yeah.
price. But then again, maybe not. We also just got Daniel Jones. He'll be our backup. He's not a bad backup, just not a good starter. And we're gonna roll with JJ McCarthy, man. I wish you luck, Sam. Thank you for your help. But now they're saying that they actually could pay him, and I'm confused. Is JJ McCarthy their guy? Is he that dude, that guy? Is he ready? Or do they not think he's ready to start without the training wheels yet? I'm not sure. What say you, Terrence?
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Kansas City when they had to let Alex Smith walk because they had
I
somebody
like
so
that.
good behind him, and they knew how good he was, but we didn't know.
No.
We had no idea what was coming. We had no idea that literally, like the second born, was reincarnated and was about to play football.
Yeah.
None of us knew that, but they did, right? Like Andy Reid and those guys, they knew what Mahomes was going to be. Maybe the Vikings feel the exact same way about McCarthy, and I think they only want to keep Darnold as a security blanket in case they're wrong. So maybe there's just a little bit of doubt because Kansas City was like, "Hey, Alex, we'll see you later. We'll see you down the road, buddy."
Yeah.
Uh, Minnesota, it seems like they're trying to do that, but they're just a little bit afraid. But listen, in this salary cap age, hey man, the brothers just got to go. You drafted them high. You got to believe in that. And I know that what Sam Darnold did last year was it kind of caught a lot of people off guard, myself included. We was on the show, and every week I'm like, Sam Darnold, he's going to revert back to good old Sam Darnold next week.
But he
Brother won
did
like
eventually.
14 games.
He
He
did
won like 14
eventually,
games.
but he did win 14 games. But
He
he
has some stinkers, but like had you told me at the beginning of the season that he was going to lead the Vikings to 14 wins,
mm-hmm.
I would have called you a damn lie real quick.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
think they are just a little bit apprehensive about letting their brother go to Las Vegas or wherever you could go, Pittsburgh, or there's some places out there. The problem is with him is that he's got to wait until Aaron Rodgers gets signed. He's more than likely going to have to wait until Russell Wilson gets signed. Depends on if teams are going to cover Russell Wilson more because I think he'll be cheaper. Justin Fields will be cheaper. Now, I would take Sam Darnold over Justin Fields at this point in their careers, but I'm just saying there's a lot of pieces out there. There's a lot of unsigned guys. Some guys are trying. Some teams that need quarterbacks are going to be drafting. He'll be in the same situation that he was in Minnesota. So many teams now have their QBs. Now maybe there's a situation where he ends up in Cleveland. Maybe they could use him. But at the end of the day, I don't see how Minnesota while they're paying Jefferson, they have to pay Addison, Harrison Smith. I mean, they've got a lot of guys they're paying. Their team is loaded top to bottom. I don't think Sam Darnold is going to be the fit financially, and they just have to just let him go. Having a rookie quarterback right now in the NFL is like gold. Like you want to. That's when your window is weird, but that's when your window is open.
Yeah.
And right now they are sitting on a gold mine, having the best receiver in football, arguably. We'll say arguably now because Jamar Chase had a hell of a year. A damn good number two in Jordan Addison. Um, you got a doggone good offense, man. You got a very good defense and a doggone good offense. To hold all that together, especially this offseason, you probably need to tap into that gold mine you have, which is a high drafted rookie QB.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said. I really think Sam Darnold, um, for his sake, I think in his best interest, he should stay in Minnesota.
Yes,
But
I agree.
but if he wants more money, like he would have to leave because if I were the Vikings, I would not be willing to give him any more than 10 per, as a backup.
Right.
And I think that's still pretty good money as a backup. But he wants probably 25, 30 million. I'm sure he probably thinks he can go get 40 somewhere. And good luck with that. You probably have to go to
Good
Las
luck.
Vegas to get it. But it's all about for him the fit. I don't think he'll play better than. I could be wrong because we have doubted Sam Darnold before, and he definitely proved us wrong for at least 14 games this season.
Hmm.
But again, he still kind of turned back into the Sam Darnold that we know when it mattered. But anyway, like that's neither here nor there. Sam Darnold is if he goes to the Raiders, I don't know if he looks as good as he will look under Kevin O'Connell. So for his best interest, I think he should stay and he should just take whatever they're willing to give him because man, you're going to be a backup to JJ McCarthy for the most part, but you're a good quarterback that we can rely on if we have to come to
Right.
you. But if he stays, I mean, if he leaves, which I'm sure if I'm the Vikings, I'm making sure he leaves. Like, just go. We've got Daniel Jones
Right.
and we've got
Now
JJ McCarthy.
he could also be saying, hey, no matter how good I play, I need to get paid one more time because Sam Darnold's been in the league a little minute now, and he might just be saying, "Hey, let me give me one more good contract, and I can get the hell out of here." If that's the case, hey, brother, go to Vegas. Go to the Giants or Titans or whoever might be willing to. Hell, go back to Carolina. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, go wherever it takes for you to get that last contract. The Jets might be the best place for him.
Just the fact that the Vikings are thinking about trying to keep Sam Darnold, it just makes me wonder if they know if JJ McCarthy is their guy. Is he really a franchise quarterback? And like you
Yeah.
said earlier, in your earlier statements, I think that maybe they are just want to maybe keep him around just in case they're wrong. And but again, I would say this: Daniel Jones at third string, Sam Darnold at backup, and JJ McCarthy the starter. The Vikings will have a pretty decent, one of the best quarterback rooms I would say in the NFL if they can pull
That's
that
a good
off.
quarterback room.
It's not
But
bad at
damn,
all.
that's still that's a good QB room. But what did Parcells always say about having two quarterbacks?
Hey, you still don't have a quarterback.
You won't have a quarterback.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, it
And that's
is.
why I
It
wonder
is.
why they're trying to keep him so bad. If they were so for certain on their second year quarterback, JJ McCarthy. I gotta watch some film, some old film, because I don't really know. If I did, I could be a lot more um firm about my opinion with this right here. We're gonna give a quick shout out to Sis and Bro Plays. What's up, man? He said my birthday is in 8 days. Can I get a shout out? Shout out. Happy
Shout
birthday.
out.
8 days early. All right, so just wanted to talk about Sam Darnold and the Vikings. Okay, moving on. Jonathan Allen may be released from the Washington Commanders. The Commanders could cut the two-time Pro Bowl DT if they can't trade him. That's according to the Athletic. Now, for people that don't know this, Jonathan Allen was in the Deebo Samuel trade package where he was supposed to have been going to the 49ers in that trade. They haven't said why he didn't get traded, but it looks like he's about to get released. And if the Niners want him, or if they did want him, may have an opportunity to get him now, I guess. I'm not sure why that didn't go through. People probably would have been much happier if they had a fifth round pick and Jonathan Allen, but maybe if they got Jonathan Allen, there was no draft pick or something. I'm not sure. But
Right.
again, Do you
or
well,
or a lower pick like a 6th round or 7th round as
well,
opposed to the 5th rounder.
Terrence, will Jonathan Allen have a marketing free agency once he's released here by Washington?
Yeah, I think this is one of those times where it's very important in a player's career when you've already made some money and now you have the ability to go and pick out your own team. You can pick out the best fit, pick out the best coaching system, pick out the best players around you. What literally really weigh your options. Yeah, I think he can if he does it right. You can chase money or you can chase situations, right? Like, so I don't know if he's going to chase money or because a lot of these guys they live lifestyles and they have to keep that lifestyle up.
Yeah,
Uh, so I don't think he's going to get the money that he was getting in Washington, but he can definitely still get a hefty payday and get somewhere that can fit him well and he can help them out. Listen, the teams like the Eagles, the Patriots, um,
okay,
we've seen them year in year out pick up guys like this who teams may have had to cut for financial reasons or whatever the case may be. Then they go to the Eagles or the Patriots and they're contributing in a major way really quickly.
yeah,
To me, that's how you sustain wins. To me, that's how you sustain dynasties. And I think the Eagles are uh, they have a chance to become one, even though Kansas City's dynasty might not be completely over. The Eagles have a chance to do that, and so but we see them get players like this that are just cast away, and then they turn them into contributing factors. So he just has to be careful about where he goes and decides if he wants to go for money or if he wants to go to win.
all right, good, well said,
Hopefully,
T.
he can do both at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, right. In other news, staying in the NFL, it was breaking news a few hours ago that DK Metcalf, the Seahawks wide receiver, has requested a trade. That's according to Adam Schefter. So we know that's pretty damn reliable. So look, the Seahawks agree to explore options for the two-time Pro Bowler. That's according to NFL Network. Uh wow. The DK Metcalf looks like he's gonna get moved here. What is that you just put on your head there? Who's that representing? Oh, Miss. You
There you
did it.
go.
You pulled
So
out. You
listen,
pulled out the gun, and
listen,
you
DK,
okay. I
DK,
figured, but I wanted to see.
I know how to find you, DK, because I know who did your last pictures. I know him. He's a buddy of mine. We all went to Ole Miss. If you
Okay.
have a chance to get traded to the Ravens, don't you turn that trade down, okay?
Mm,
I'm talking to you, DK Metcalf. We both went to Ole Miss. We can both be Ravens somewhat, even though I'm not on payroll. But no, I think I really I don't know what his financial situation is like. He might have to do a little restructuring because those guys are jam tight with salary cap over there. But
oh,
man,
he wants a new deal when he gets traded.
well,
He
okay,
wants a
let's
new
let me take that back off.
deal.
'Cause I don't think they can pay him beyond this year.
y'all,
But
y'all,
no,
not,
man.
y'all aren't paying anybody, really, are you? Who are you paying besides Lamar?
I think Marlo has got a big deal. Um,
Okay.
they're probably gonna have to repay Derrick Henry since Saquon just got paid. Thank you, Eagles.
Yeah, we're about to get to that. Yes.
Uh,
Yes, he did.
Roquan. I think Hamilton is almost time for him to get paid. Like, man, those.
Okay. I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah,
Well, yeah, he
yeah.
wants a new deal, but it still doesn't mean like he wouldn't be willing to go try it out for 1 year and see what
Right,
happens.
right,
Because I think
right.
he's got
Yeah,
a year left on his
yeah.
deal.
And I
So,
mean, DK, in my opinion, now he's the type of player um, that Lamar is needed. Big body can get open. You ain't got a scheme for him to get open. You can throw the ball in the air, and he's got 60 to 70% chance of coming down with it every time. I think DK, as great as he is physical, in my opinion, now this is just me. I love AJ Brown and those guys. They play together at Ole Miss. They are
yes.
both like absolute freaks of nature. But Jarvis, let's take this back to the draft.
Okay.
If now when with NFL careers aside, because in my opinion, AJ Brown has been exponentially better in the league. But if you are remember the draft, right?
Right.
And DK ran that 40 time. And we saw what DK looked like. Like everybody saw what DK looked like. Just
Yes.
freak of the world.
Yes.
In my opinion, DK should be having a better career than AJ Brown. in my opinion, because I think he's just a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Um, Now AJ, in my opinion, when he got traded to the Eagles, I always say where you play matters. The system you play in, the people that's around you matters. Um, and I think that's been the only big difference is where they played. Because even when AJ was in Tennessee, man, AJ got single coverage a lot because hell, Derrick Henry was in the backfield. Young prime Derrick Henry was in the background in the backfield.
Yeah.
And so you couldn't really afford to double cover anybody. You had to have everybody in the box. And I think he benefited from that a lot. This is not taking anything away from AJ. Love AJ Brown, by the way.
Yeah, I would
My
say,
point is,
uh-huh.
I think there is still a lot of untapped greatness in DK that we have not seen because he was stuck in a deteriorating Seattle offense. Gino tried to bring it back to life a little bit, but there's only so much Gino is going to be able to do.
Right.
So put that man on a good team, man, with good players around him, and let's see what he does. That's my point.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that you could say about DK Metcalf for anybody that wants to make a pitch on, well, if the Seahawks wanted to make a pitch on why you should trade for him, and he wants to go there too somewhere, but like what you just said, but he played with Geno Smith and he played with the Russell Wilson late years, the
Yeah.
Seattle years of Russell Wilson. Like,
Hmm.
so he's had a lot of mediocrity at quarterback, while AJ Brown for the past 3 seasons at least, since he's been in Philadelphia, 3 or 4 seasons, they've been balling. He has a lot to do with it, don't get me wrong, but Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback, I would say, than Geno Smith. Most people would say that, right? And
Oh, absolutely.
the late years of Russell Wilson in Seattle. So yeah, mediocrity with a quarterback and the offensive scheme, and some of that was Pete Carroll, who don't really, like their offense wasn't the hottest thing in the league since Metcalf has been there.
Right.
So I would say that yes, a change of scenery, the right offensive coordinator, the right team, quarterback, offense, you put all of that together, I think he can do a lot of good things too somewhere else. And you're right, there's still some untapped potential there for him if he can just calm down and like stop,
Read you a book on the sideline. It works for AJ.
do something, because like DBs are now purposely going at him knowing that he's going to get so emotional, he's going to get so very passionate. Nothing wrong with it, you got to love it, but
Yeah.
they call them crybabies. Our corner Diamond Lenore just went live to say now, bro, is you gonna take the fun away if you trade him away. He enjoys playing against DK Metcalf in San Francisco because he says all he does is cry. He's complaining to the referees. You can't do this to me. He did that. He's trying to hurt me. He was really going in, and it's like, well, this is what the league think of you, DK. So if he can just get his act together and kind of don't be soft, be tough, but you don't have to always have a fight with every DB that's covering you every Sunday, then he can definitely shine. Maybe under the right coaching staff too, the right head
Yeah.
coach or the right man that can actually show him how to be that
Yeah.
guy. I agree with you on that though. But here, the number one team that people think is going to be on the phone for DK Metcalf is the same team that called for him last year, but the Seahawks didn't pull the trigger, and that's the LA Chargers. Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers were trying to get him heavily as soon as he got there, as soon as he got the job last year in LA and in his first off season, but they didn't pull the trigger. Now people are saying that the Chargers will be number one. Green Bay is number two, according to the Bleacher Report source that could get him. The Dallas Cowboys is on that list, believe it or not, and they do need a wide receiver.
They
They
do.
need
Yeah.
to be more aggressive and go get some things, and maybe they would have a chance at competing in 2025. But yeah, that's the word. Seahawks are willing to trade DK Metcalf, and he requested the trade, and it looks like it's going to be granted. The Eagles were busy the past few days. They paid Saquon Barkley, and they also paid their linebacker Zach Bond today, a 3-year, $51 million deal with $34 million guaranteed. But the biggest thing is they paid Saquon, and well deservingly.
Right.
I have to really go back here to find it, but it's a lot of money, and it is well deserved. Um,
Highest paid running back in league history as of
in
right now.
league history. That's right. He became the highest paid running back in NFL history with a 2-year extension, and that 2 years is for $41.2 million, according to Adam Schefter. Now, that's not all they did, though, Terrence. While they did sign their running back and their linebacker, they released. They were able to do so because they released Darius Slate, which saved them nearly $4 million. And Bradbury has already been told that he can start looking and talking to other teams because it's going to be a post June 1 cut, but they're letting them know in March. Got to give it up to the Eagles front office. They just seem to do everything right, you know,
And listen,
and
the, the
respectfully.
the best part of that team is not Jalen Hurts. It's not AJ Brown. As much as I love Saquon, it ain't Saquon. It ain't Sirianni. It ain't anybody that actually puts on a uniform. That front office might be the best in league history.
Howie
The
Roseman,
buttons that the
he's
buttons,
cooking.
yeah, man, the buttons that man has pressed over the past few years. I mean, Jarvis, they were, as you always say, they were pretty much a holding call away from this being their second championship in how many ever years? 3 years or so.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
the injuries derailed them last year, but my point is, they are in those positions year in and year out because of how good the front office is. And like every great player they had that stepped away, they had them replaced before they stepped away. And like to me, that is the ultimate mark of a good front office. Um, and they're gonna be back next year some kind of way, hell or high water, I'm sure. Now
Yeah.
they might struggle a bit at corner, but I think they're young at corner, but they're young and they're good. Um, and listen, you can't have experience like veterans, all pro guys at every position. Somebody's got to be young. If you can go, if corner is the position you have to go young at, I think you're fine. I think you'll be okay. So
Right.
I just wanted to give a little praise to them while we were talking about them because the best part of that team is the front office.
You're right.
It
Shout out to
it
Howie
ain't even the
Roseman.
damn tush push. It's not even the tush push. It's whatever Howard Roseman signs. Like that's the
Yeah.
play that matters.
Right. Right. Hey, what's up, Four Rings? He said, I really hope the Niners pick up Cam Scatterbo. He is the next CMC for real, for real. I ain't got to watch him, but I have been hearing about him in the Niner Empire. I have been hearing about him on X, formerly known as Twitter, a little bit. What do you think we should draft him at, though? Like, ain't he gonna be a first round pick? Do you think he should be picked at 11, or is he a second round guy, early second round? I'm trying. I'm about to get really caught up on who's who, but man, who was that the other day that told me that asked me about help me out, Four Rings, the tight end from Penn State, Tyler Warren. I did
Hmm.
watch his film, and he looks like somebody that Kyle Shanahan would draft. I just hope that he wouldn't just try to make him the next Kyle Juszczyk, because I think we're finally going to release him. Or the word is that they're talking to him about a restructuring his contract, but man, just release him. He's been overpaid and overrated for the past few seasons. He doesn't really do much. He doesn't really just do the blocking that he used to do either. They don't use him as much on offense at all. And they used to call him an offensive weapon. No, it's not. Not anymore. It's not 2018 or 2019. Get rid of him. And that may be what they would bring Tyler Warren in for, to block and stuff like that, while Kittle can finally stop being underutilized and he can play tight end. But then again, knowing Kyle, he'll draft Tyler Warren and let him, run all the routes and be the tight end while Kittle continues to block. Who knows? But yeah, good stuff, man. Let me know though what you think. Do you think that we can draft Scatterbo? And where if we do that? All right. So talking about money, T. So since we're talking about money, I want to quickly fast forward to Max Crosby. He just got a huge deal today. Also, the Raiders Pro Bowl defensive end signed a 3-year, $106.5 million extension with 91 and a half guaranteed. 91 and a
Dang.
half guaranteed.
Whew.
So Max Crosby gets paid, and this happened just a day after he said he wanted Aaron Rodgers. Um, what do you think about that, Max Crosby? His payment. I
well,
think
well,
he's one.
well,
I think he's top two, like right now for real. The way he's been playing.
yeah. I mean, I will say he's one of the few people that I enjoy just watching. Right? Like I mean, it wouldn't matter what team he's on because that dude's motor, like he never stops. He never stops, and yeah, he's crazy with it with his pass rush, man. I really enjoy watching the guy play. Him and what's the brother from Detroit that got hurt?
Oh, Hutchinson, Chad Hutchinson. Yeah,
Hutchinson. I was about to say Hawkinson, but that was the tight end. Hutchinson. Yeah,
yeah.
man. Those two guys, I really enjoy watching them play. They are tough. They are coming at you full speed all game long. So well deserved. Absolutely well deserved. I don't know what that means for Aaron Rodgers, but we'll have to wait to see on that. But that brother, his contract is well deserved.
It is. Max Crosby, one
Yeah,
of the best. Right now, he's top two in my book. And I ain't gonna lie, this past season, watching him, I don't think he's number two. And
that's fair. That's
we
fair.
know T.J. Watt is a bad boy, but
Ooh, yes,
either he
he
was
is.
injured, or he was okay. But we've seen better. Myles Garrett, and we know what Michael Parson and Bosa. We know what they can do and what they bring to the table. But Max Crosby is always wreaking havoc in the backfield, whether it's a
Would
sack.
you agree? Since you brought up Myles Garrett, would you agree that he is the biggest domino of this offseason?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, I think so.
it's the biggest
I think
domino
so.
effect. Whatever happens with him, everything else falls in place. Yeah.
Everything else falls after that. Yeah, that's that. I mean, that is something that could change. That could change a division. That could change a whole conference.
And speaking of that, we just talked about the Eagles paying Saquon Barkley and paying their linebacker, releasing Slay and Bradbury.
Let me
But
tell you,
this is the team
they're
that
getting ready for him. They're
that
getting ready
part.
for him.
Yes, Howie Roseman. They said, look, if he wants to pull the trigger, he can make it happen. They're finding the ways to create the space and everything right now.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that the rumor are they are interested. Man, if Myles Garrett is a Philadelphia Eagle, man, god damn. I mean,
Why are we watching this? As you said last year, why are we
what I've been
watching this?
saying for the past few years with the Chiefs
Why
winning,
are we watching this?
now it flips to the green team. Hey, what's
Yeah.
up, Johnny? What's up, man? Look, I want to say, well, let me read Four Rings right quick. He said, I'm gonna be real with you. He doesn't know when a Scatterbo will get drafted, but he will be by the first by the team that needs a running back. One of the teams that needs a running back, he'll be the first drafted. Okay.
Over
Um,
Ginty?
at 11, I'm hearing GT is not, he didn't have the best combine or his 40. If he ran his 40, I don't know. I'm not saying that he's not that dude, but I mean, it seems like they weren't that impressed. He may not be
Right.
the first running back coming off the board, and it may be exactly who Four Rings is saying. But we'll see. I just think the Niners need to be worried about the interior O line. I know they signed this guy named Ben Barch, and he may be a steal or something. I don't know. But the one thing Kyle Shanahan always does is he cheats with the offensive line, and he always thinks that he can just, I don't have to address that. Our offensive line coach Chris Forrester is good. I'm good. If they just do what we say and follow the system and trust the process, the ball comes out at this amount of time. We can hide if this offensive line isn't that good. That's what he thinks, and that's why he always passes over, putting a lot of money in that position so he can get these other good players. Defensive ends, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs. He pays high, top dollar for those positions. He doesn't think offensive line should be paid top dollar. It's a big focus for him. I don't like that about Kyle Shanahan. But
Right.
just wanted to just say that. Johnny Reynolds said, "What up? What up, Johnny?" Four Rings is still talking about Scatterbo. He said he's a beast. I don't think we can get him no Four Rings. I don't see how, because we need to focus on the interior O line. And if Will Thompson is the guy, if he's really that dude, man, draft him. I heard his arms are kind of short. Yeah, whatever. I heard the same thing about Warren Sapp, and he's one of the best DTs I ever seen play the game.
Yep.
He's short and all that other stuff, underweight. We saw Warren Sapp, how he could get down. He got down. So I don't want to hear that. Go offensive line, or unless you've got a defensive line that's better, like Abdul Carter. Let's see what else. Raphael, what's up? How about them Cowboys? How about them? You tell me. How about them? I'm glad you're here, though, man. Y'all need to go get Devontae Adams, or go trade for DK Metcalf. That's what you should be doing. And then it'll be a how about them Cowboys. Y'all gotta be more aggressive this year. And Stephen Jones said that they will be some type of aggressive. I forgot the word that he used for it.
You
Four
know, you know
rings.
my problem with that.
Uh-huh.
You know my problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys fans, it's time for them to stand up or sit down or whatever. Like whatever they do, they need to do it in unison. Because when you say something like, "Oh, we're going to be more aggressive this year," that is acknowledging the fact that you were not aggressive last year. That means you thought that that team you were putting on the field had a chance to win, or you didn't care that you didn't have a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those I have a problem with. And if I was a Cowboys fan, I would be completely upset. Like that shit you did in the 90s and 80s or whatever hell, or 70s or whenever else you won. Hey, that dust has got to be worn off at some point. Like it's got to be worn off at some point.
Yeah.
And hey, it's time. I am tired of the Cowboys being bad. Jarvis, you know I've been on this train for a long time. I want to see the same way I wanted to see a Kobe and LeBron finals. I wanted to see New England and Cowboys when New England was way up, with Brady in his time. I wanted to see a New England and Cowboys Super Bowl. I still want to see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. I don't give a damn if they win or not. Preferably, I hope my Ravens are there, so I damn sure hope they lose. But my point is, I'm tired of them being. It's been the same damn story, Jarvis, my whole adult life. And I'm 36. I'll be 37 in a few months. It's been the same couple of months. It's been the same story. They're either really bad or they're just good enough to be called good, and they have not been great in a very long time.
That is true. That is true.
And the closest they got to winning something was, I will say, a botch call. Dez Bryant caught that damn ball. It should have been a touchdown. But like,
2014.
yeah, but Jarvis, this is 2025. That's been 11 years.
That is
We had
true.
old man Dez running around in a purple jersey a few years ago.
Yeah, I forgot all
So
about
like,
that.
yeah, I just had to break in to say that, man, because I'm tired of the Cowboys being bad.
Oh,
Like, whatever you got to do in this draft, damn it, get it right. Get it right this offseason. Go get you a good running back. That's what they really need. Get you a good running back. Trade for DK. Like, do what you got to do. But man, this shit here, what they've been putting on the field, I'm embarrassed by it, and I'm not even a Cowboys fan.
right. I got you, T. I got you. What's up? What up? What up? Tighten up. LeVar says tighten up. What's up with you, LeVar? 4 rings. You really want to pick Scatterbo at 11? I don't know, man. I think we should be going offensive line or a good defensive line interior. That is. I don't know if that's important, but if we were to do that, Christian McCaffrey needs to be on the trade block right now. Let's really
Ooh.
have a good draft and get all of the compensation we can, more draft capital. Put Christian McCaffrey up on the damn trading block. If he's that dude, pay Jordan Mason a little bit more money, and you've got Isaac Garendo. Jordan Mason stays, and you've got this rookie here in Scatterbo, and you get a lot of shit for Christian McCaffrey. We hope, but you'll get more for him now than you will if you wait till next year. See, they always do things a year or too late. Debo should have got traded last year. We would have got more than a 5th-round pick. We just came off the Super Bowl appearance. So they just do things a little too late, that's all. In other news, time to get rid of Kyle. Alfredo, what's up with your brother? My guy, you a wise man. Let me
Very
read that.
wise
Let me
man.
read that one more time.
One more
Alfredo
time.
said, "Time to get rid of Kyle." It sure in the fuck is. He's the reason why we're in this situation. I'm gonna
Oh
talk
my
about the
goodness.
Brock Purdy stuff. Matter of fact, I'm about to go ahead and get into it now since he just said that. 49ers playoffs or Kyle is fired. Well, he's fired because I don't know if we can fix all of this in one off season, man. I really don't.
No.
We got a lot of things to do, and it's the trenches that matters the most. And he tends to not want to address his offensive line because the system is good enough. It'll work. It'll pass. All you got to do is just be like a C, C minus. It'll work for Kyle. All right, so let me go ahead and keep it moving. I'm gonna read a few more. Damn, people are finally echoing. Get rid of Kyle, bro. Yes, they are. They are. I've been saying it. Everybody's starting to see it now. Whatever in the dark, it always comes to light. I just so happen to see it a little sooner than others, and that's why we're credible here at the Great Debate Show. That's why you have to come listen to us, and we appreciate you all being here with us. One more. 4 Rings said you make some great points, but with Sim seeing both his legs giving out and Mason getting deals thrown at him, we need a running back, and Cam is that guy. The O-line does need the help. So you're saying you think that, yeah, I'm sure Mason will probably be gone. And you're saying CMC has some issue with both legs. So you think that this guy can be the workhorse? He can come in and just take all the way over? Or him and Garendo, I guess.
Um,
I'm not opposed to that, but at 11, that's just not our biggest need, in my opinion, though.
yeah, I
Go
agree.
ahead,
And
T.
listen, I mean, history shows, and I don't like the history, but it shows that in the Shanahan offense, whether it's father or son, you don't need to overreach for a running back now. Christian McCaffrey is an anomaly. What he did for that, Christian McCaffrey walked so that the Derrick Henrys and the Saquon Barkleys could run, literally. Uh, but there aren't many of those guys out there, right? So you
Right.
don't need to, in my opinion, overextend for a running back. You don't need to draft one early. You just need to find a good one somewhere. No matter how you get them, there's going to be some free agents. There's going to be some draft picks that you can get in the fourth, fifth, sixth round. That in that system, Kyle will turn into a good running back. We've seen it too many times.
And Four Ring said 1,000% he will be the workhorse. He will be the horse. Okay. I'm kind of more with Terrence right here, who says deep running back draft. Wait on running back. We need Trent Williams replacement right now, and that's facts. That's
Did
facts.
Trent retire?
He did not. He's returning for another season, but he doesn't look like the same Trent. I think he's
Yeah.
just coming to get that money because he got a little bag last off season, and he won't get all of that. I don't believe probably if he retires. So, man, I'm telling you, he's robbing us now though. It's not the same Trent, y'all. Even when he was 80, 100%, I don't know what he was before he lost his daughter. And again, my condolences to him and Travarius Ward. It was a terrible season. Never seen anything like that in my life. Two players losing their babies in the same damn season, in the same damn locker room. But before that happened, Trent Williams was getting his ass kicked against some of these pass rushers, man. I'm telling you. He struggled in the Super Bowl, too. So I think we need to focus on his replacement, especially though interior O line. That needs to be the bigger thing instead of a running back. Lean under Trent. Yeah, man. Trent is he had a great career, but you got to know when to move off of these guys, Kyle, and you got to stop hanging on to your buddies like the Trent Williamses and the Kyle Juszczyks and the Debo Samuel too. He asked for the trade. You were not going to trade him either. I think people have came from the upstairs though and said, "All right, Kyle, we'll take it from here. You have too much power. You spent way too much money. These contracts are ridiculous, and we don't have shit to show for it." And it explains when I tell you this Brock Purdy offer that the 49ers gave them. I'm about to get into that right now. So, Terrence, in other news, though, Jaguars, they released Christian Kirk. The wide receiver had 27 catches in 8 games last season. I don't know if he got hurt or what, but they paid a lot of money for him, and I don't
Yeah,
think they
screw that man.
quite got their money's worth.
He upset the receiver market. Well, it wasn't his fault. They overpaid for Christian Kirk and then just threw the receiver market in a flux.
Yeah.
So screw that man. Now, hopefully he finds a good home. I'm kidding. Hopefully he finds a good home somewhere. If he decides to continue to play, Christian Kirk has been in the league a few years now. He's been in the league a while.
Yeah, he
So
has.
hopefully he made good use of that money that he got.
Yep, he has.
He won't get it.
Hopefully
He
he
won't
does.
get it twice.
And before I
He
get
won't
into
get
the
it twice.
Brock Purdy stuff, I want to give a shout out to the Chicago Bears and Ben Johnson or the general manager because they've really hit the ground running since they hired him. They traded for offensive line Joe Thuney out of Kansas City. The Chiefs traded him, the offensive guard, all pro offensive lineman, to the Bears. And they also traded for another linebacker that they got from the Rams also earlier today. So the Bears are really hitting the ground running and they're going offensive line heavy. And that's what Ben Jones did when he was in Detroit. The plays that he called for Jared Goff in that offense, they couldn't have did it without that offensive line being as great as it was. Now, they might have had a few injuries down the stretch. Well, I think that was the Vikings. The Lions have the best, one of the best besides Philly. I know Philly is good and they're big and all of that, and they push kings. But what's his name? Here it is. The LA Rams sent Jonah Jackson to the Chicago Bears for a 2025 6th-round pick. So they got Jonah Jackson, an offensive lineman from the Rams, and they got Joe Thuney from the Chiefs. Any thoughts on the Bears on what they're trying to do here now for Caleb?
Yeah, I think people have to keep in mind that Ben Johnson coached a team that played against them 2 times a year for however long he was in Detroit. And I'm pretty sure the scouting report said those guys are terrible up front. They're terrible up front. That's been the scouting report. So he was like, listen, if I'm going to take this job, the first thing we're going to do is address the O line. Whoever the GM is, that I
Mhm.
forgot the gentleman's name. Hey, brother, I'll accept this job as long as you agree to fix this O line before we do anything because I can't run my offense with this line. If I have this line, I'm going to be here 1 year. So we got to fix this. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure that was probably part of the agreement. Smart man, get that line fixed up. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was part of the. Hey man, nice to have you aboard. Yeah, you better fix that damn line immediately. Otherwise, I won't be here long.
Yeah.
So hopefully, hopefully the adjustments they made will help out. I still think Caleb Williams will be fine. They just have to fix that line. I mean, that was the issue with Fields. Had they done
Yeah.
that with Fields, we wouldn't be having this conversation because they would have been fine.
Exactly. Well, and they needed a head coach too that was competent enough to call some good plays or work with their quarterback, and they didn't have that this season. Ben Johnson, we'll see. Ben Jones, I mean, we'll see how that works out. Hey, I
Matt
will say,
Nagy couldn't even win the championship with Patrick Mahomes, so of
Matt
course
Nagy.
he's terrible.
The Cowboys did something on yesterday. They signed their defensive lineman. I don't want to mess his name up, and I can't pronounce it, but Osa is his first name. I'm not even going to attempt to say his last, but the Cowboy fans know who that is. Big Osa got an $80 million contract extension. 58 million of it
Ooh.
is guaranteed. And when that
Mhm.
happened, this is what Cowboy fans will be proud of because I ain't gonna lie, I even got goosebumps seeing this on Twitter. We found out that CD Lamb restructured his deal with the Cowboys, and that created $20 million of cap space with that move. That's how they were able to pay Oso. Now, Ian Rappaport reported that while the assumption has been, oh no, not that one. That's the wrong one. Okay, somebody tweeted CD3 such a dumb move. You know, can I ask why? That's what a fan tweeted at CD Lamb after he restructured his contract, which freed up 20 million in cap space for the Cowboys. Listen to CD Lamb's response. He said, "Because I want to win, it's going to take more than just myself." I couldn't believe that somebody that you would think is a diva, he's a wide receiver, he wants the ball all the time, he's selfish. That was not a selfish act at all. He said, "Because I want to win, it's going to take more than just myself to do it." Kudos to CD Lamb. He just got paid the last offseason when Brandon Ayuk, right before Brandon Ayuk did. And yeah, I don't know exactly how much he gave back, but the fact that they created 20 million worth of cap space, that's pretty good. I'm sure it was a few million from this year or that year or whatever, but anything on that with
You know
CD?
what? First of all, kudos to CD. In my opinion, that is real leadership. It's all good to be out there and in the huddle and trying to give a speech. Everybody can't be Ray Lewis. Um, but when I see you being a leader with your money, that's real leadership. Now, my question is Dak going to do the same thing?
Hmm, good one.
Because he is the one with the big contract. Is
Yeah,
he going to do the same thing?
yeah. I think we know the answer
If
to
they
that.
say, if they say, hey, Dak, we have a trade right now for DK Metcalf. We think this is the move that is going to put us over the top.
Yeah.
Is Dak going to give any of that money back? I'm not saying he has to. It's up to him. I think Dak's probably already a rich man,
Hmm.
but I'm not counting his pockets. It's none of my business. But my question is, you've got one teammate that's already done that. Are you going to follow suit?
And I don't think so. I
I
don't think
doubt
he
it.
will.
I mean, yeah, I doubt it. Now, in Dak's defense, I don't think Dak asked for the money that he got. Right? Like
Okay.
I don't think he demanded that money. I think
Okay.
Jerry Jones just gave it to him because they like paying for mediocrity.
It's,
But is that
it's,
going to give any of that money back? Because you still got to pay Michael Parsons. They might just let Diggs walk. I'm not sure, but they've got some guys to pay. And
yeah,
Michael Parsons is going to be is going to have to make him the highest paid defensive player in the game.
that's correct.
So is that
Uh,
going to give any of that money back? Kudos to
right.
CD, man. That's real leadership in my opinion.
No doubt. That's true. That is true. So let me also, and Devontae Adams got released on yesterday as well. He could be going to several different places. The Chargers. He wants to be in California. Ian Rappaport said, while the assumption has been that Devontae Adams wants to play with Aaron Rodgers, and historically that's been the plan. But my understanding is the pool of being on the West Coast is very real. So they've officially released him. He wants to play in Cali, whether that be the Chargers, the Rams, the Niners, who knows? But he wants to be in Cali. He would like to be there, especially if they're a contending team. The Chargers are. They were in the playoffs. People think the Niners will be a contending team. They'll bounce back, depending on how this offseason goes. And the Rams were
Yeah.
just one good drive away from going to the NFC Championship game. So Devontae is released, and we'll see where he goes. But the main thing I want to talk about right now, because this time flies.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs, also, believe it or not, his return to the Texans are 50-50. But not because of the injury that he's returning from. It's because he actually has a real market despite his age and his torn ACL that he suffered last season, according to NBC Sports.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty good market. So don't know if he'll return to the Texans or not. Aaron Jones and Najee Harris are the top NFL running backs that will be free agents. Free agency gets underway next week. The Saints release Jamal Williams. That's a veteran running back. Now, let me hurry up and tap into this real quick, T. I just wanted to get all of that out of the way. I have been saying on this show for the past, mid-season, I've been saying, hey, man, they're going to try to pay Purdy. People think they want to do it soon and get it out of the way. But I think they should pay Purdy. I like Purdy, but I like him at a certain cost. I don't think he should be getting top market money. 60 million, 61 million to me is absurd. A lot of Niner fans got in their feelings, unfollowed me on X, formerly known as Twitter, and they said, the hell with me. I'm not a real fan. I'm not a Niner. I'm not a diehard. Bang, bang. Get the fuck out of here. All I said was we shouldn't pay him over 40 million. Well, what do I know? I'm just couch GM, right? I don't know. Couch potato general manager. Well, the Niners went from saying that they love Brock Purdy, they're going to pay him, they're going to extend him, they want him to be around for as long as they're around. Maybe they're not going to be around very long then, because they went from saying they're going to extend him to saying there's no guarantees. Brock Purdy is getting paid $5.2 million in 2025. Now, that is $4 million more than what he got paid last year in 2024. I think it was $1 million or like 900,000. So there is
not enough.
It's not enough, but there is somewhat of a raise in 2025. And if the Niners said, hey, if you're not going to go with this offer here, then you're just going to play for this money here. And we can play the tag game. And over the next 3 years, he could make about $97 million if he's tagged. They offered him $45 million. That's the word that came out today in the Bay Area. Me and you, I was at 40. I started at 35. People said, Jay, you're being disrespectful. But Baker Mayfield is getting paid 33 per, and he had a better year than Brock Purdy. And I don't want to hear that, Brock Purdy didn't have a lot of people. He had a lot of injuries. I could have sworn Mike Evans was out for about 5 weeks during the season, and Chris Godwin was out for the whole season or for the remainder of the season, when he had his injury. And he's going to be a hot free agent, but he's still coming off of an injury. But I digress. Yeah. I said 40 million. I wouldn't pay him any more than that. The 49ers have offered him 45 per. That's not 60. Now, again, they're not doing it for the same reasons why I say they should be doing it. I think that he's elite when he has elite talent around him. And I think that he's not very elite at all when he doesn't have elite talent around him. So you can call that whatever you want to call it. But be that as it may, the word is, according to Adam Schefter, he told Pat McAfee yesterday that Brock Purdy and the 49ers obviously want to get a deal done, but the Niners have a bit of a cap issue right now, so I don't imagine they can offer as much as some people think. He did play really well. We know that. But at the same time, in 3 seasons, Purdy has completed 67% of his passes. He's thrown for 9,500 yards, 64 touchdowns, 27 interceptions. I'm not going to lie. It should be more interceptions. And 104.9 is his passer rating. But what I want to tap in is the Niners do have a cap issue right now, Terrence. They just traded
Yeah.
Debo Samuel. They're open to trading Brandon Ayuk. I mean, it sounds like, according to Adam Schefter, anybody could be next, according to what I'm hearing in Santa Clara. That's what he said. So
Mhm.
it sounds more like of a rebuild than a reload. But when I said that, I lost a lot of more followers because Niner fans continue to want to cancel me, even though I'm just saying what I think is going to happen. And it looks like this is exactly what's happening. So, Terrence, tell me, um, what do you think is going to happen with the 49ers and their quarterback picture in 2025? Because we don't know what Purdy and his agent, what they think he's worth.
Right.
Would they
Right.
accept the 45? Like, we think he should be a good old boy and take this 45. You were drafted last. You overseeded already. Get out of here, kid. Get out of here, you little squirt. But we like you. But 50, 60 per? No. I don't think the Niners are gonna budge. I don't think they can even afford to budge and give it to him. They would kick the can down the road for another year. What's gonna happen here though? Because like I just told you, they got people that they're trying to get rid of. Brandon Ayuk, they will do it. They've got contracts that. And again, before you talk to you, I just want to say one more thing. We know now, everybody should know that this is not Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch doing. It wasn't their call to say we're trading Debo. It wasn't their call to say we're open to trading Brandon Ayuk. It isn't their call to say we're not going to make Brock Purdy the highest quarterback in the league. We're only going to offer him 45 per. This isn't them.
Right.
Because everything that they've said and what they're doing now is two different things. I think people have came down in the front office. I said this a week ago. People are mad at Cal for paying Brandon Ayuk 30 per. People are mad that they have spent too much money, and these contracts are looking pretty fucked up right now. And the guys are getting older, and they still don't have a championship to show for it. So
Right.
it looks like, this is going to be some hell of a conundrum here between the Niners, Purdy, and what money that they have available to give him right now versus trying to still keep talent around him. How do you see this playing out?
I think I don't know how it will play out, but let me tell you how one part of it should play out. The minute they draw up a contract and fax it over to Purdy or he comes to the office or whatever, I mean, he better sign that thing as fast as he can blink. Because you talk about going from the last pick in the draft. Like this is as Hollywood as it gets. You talk about a script. The last pick of the draft, making 900,000 a year in Santa Clara, which everybody knows is like the most expensive part of the country over in the San Fran area, to now getting a long term deal with one of the most prestigious franchises. Very lucrative deal, 45 million a year. I'm pretty sure most of it's going to be guaranteed. And that's the one caveat I think Jarvis he has in his back pocket. He can say, "Hey, I'll take less money. I'll take 40 million as long as it is fully guaranteed." Like if Deshaun Watson can come off the massage table and get a fully guaranteed deal, I can get one. I'm sorry, Jarvis, I didn't mean to get
That's a good one, buddy.
you. I can get one while I've been here busting my butt, going from the last pick in the draft to the starting quarterback of one of the most notable franchises in history, and we've already gone to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah,
So at the very least, I won't make as much money as Dak or Lamar or Mahomes or Burrow, and whoever else makes a shit ton of money. But at the very least, make my less money fully guaranteed.
yeah.
That's the one caveat. And I think that will he can give the 49ers flexibility with the cap if he
Uh-huh.
does that, but
Yeah.
he could also make sure that his money, because Jarvis, if he gets tagged, if that man gets tagged and then gets hurt next year, that 45 million is gone.
Well,
And like we've almost, well, I won't say we, but you guys almost lost him at one point with the elbow injury, because I really thought that could have been career ending
I
or career
still think
threatening at
there's
the very least.
concerns there. I still think there's a
I
problem there
still
too
I
that they just
still
on the hush about.
he was supposed to have Tommy John. He didn't. I think he's probably playing through pain every game.
He missed the game for it. They just said it's not that. Like, okay, but it's the same arm. Is it the shoulder or is it the elbow? What? He'll miss a game. He cannot hold a wet football. to save his life. 30, 40% precipitation, that ball's gonna come out. We've seen it many
Yeah.
times. I'm not a Purdy hater. I will pay him 40
Right.
per,
Yeah.
and he should take 40.
Yeah.
But again, before we move on, T, look, if they tag him like we said, the tagging game, he'll get about 97 million in 3 years. If we offer him a short-term 3-year deal at 45 per, that's more than 97 million. He'll get that
Yeah.
damn near in 2 years of that contract. The third year,
Right.
I don't know my math that good, but it's more than 97 million. It's well over 100. So I'm just saying, like, 45 he should take. But this is going to be a big domino effect on what he thinks he's worth. If he agrees to take it, no harm, no foul. Let's build around you, Purdy. But
Yeah.
if he doesn't take it, man, you're forcing the Niners' hand to say, hey, man, you're on the 4th year. You're going into the 4th year. You really have no other choice but to play for this 5.2 million this year, and we'll go from there and see what happens in 2026. But you know, the ball is more in our court than it is yours.
I don't think
What do you want to
I
do
don't
here?
think there's a chance in hell he turns down a signing bonus. Like you sign right today and we give you like 40 million in signing bonus. I don't think there's a chance in hell he turns that down.
But they got to find the money to do it too. And that's why getting rid of Brandon Ayuk would be key. But I don't think anybody's foolish enough to trade for Ayuk. I don't know if that's something the Niners leaked on purpose to get people to call about Ayuk, or if there's really teams serious about taking a chance on a guy who tore his ACL and MCL, and hell, it's still 3 years left on that contract for 120 mil, 4-year, 120 mil. Who wants to take a chance on that with that? I don't know. But if it happens, that would save up some money there. He's due like $22 million in later this month or in April. And who knows, man? But I think they are definitely trying to rebuild. Some people are saying reset, whatever. Why do we not want to say rebuild any damn more? Something is happening here, but it doesn't sound like or look like reload to me. And I think the Niners or somebody from upstairs has came down and said, this ain't working. And keep in mind, again, people don't know this because this is not talked about in mainstream media. But for the Niner fans here, the Niners have sold 10% of their stock of the 49ers franchise to purchase their second Major League Soccer team. And this is the reason why they're probably trying to get rid of these contracts. And, you know, they want money saved up for this soccer team and whatever they're going to pour into it. But anyway, let me read a few of these.
Is that Major League Soccer? Is that MLS?
MLS, I believe, yes. They've already got one. They done that during the Chip Kelly years. They were putting money on a soccer team then. We're talking.
I remember that.
We're talking 8-9 years ago, and then they hired Kyle, and
I remember that.
We didn't hear anything else about it. Everybody was like this. Then they finally started spending money, and we got back to the Super Bowl. But now it looks like this is going to be rebuilt, and they're saying, "Hey, man, dump all the contracts, and we're putting it in soccer, and y'all just rebuild and make this stuff right." And so, yeah, but let me read some of this stuff real quick here, and we're going to keep it moving on here. 50 mil. I'd say 50 mil, but Trevor Lawrence effed that up. Yeah, man. Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert, I tell you, this is the reason why I was saying I wouldn't pay Brock Purdy $60 million. Because even though, yes, he's took us to a Super Bowl, Garoppolo did too. You know, like the Niners were just a good team overall. And when he's got all of his spades and his jokers in his hand, he's going to get 7-8 books. That's what he does. But when he only got a hand with diamonds and hearts, he ain't got nothing but a few possibles, and he might not even get a book out of that. That's Brock Purdy, in my opinion, if you can understand the spades analogy. Let's see here. 4 Rings said a great running back ain't shit without an O-line to make the holes. I agree. And that's exactly why I think we go there first. You also said he's good. He's good, not great as of yet. I think you're talking about Purdy now. Need to see a come from behind win, 14 plus for that. Yeah, and he ain't done that, has he?
How much were they down against Detroit?
That's a good question. NFC Championship.
To me, that was his moment. I mean, he could have easily tried to do too much. Yep. And again, different conversation. But he led that team to a comeback win. He made the throw to Ayuk. Remember, Ayuk caught the ball and flipped over. I think the momentum kind of switched on that play. And if I'm not mistaken, they came back the next series and got a fumble. They scored it. I'm not going to take anything else from Purdy, man. He's legit. He might not ever be a top 5 QB, But like Shanahan, in my opinion, also doesn't need a top 5 QB.
Hmm.
But he's very good enough for what Shanahan does, and that's to me that's good enough to get paid.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. He still had won a Super Bowl for me. That's all I know. He lost the Super Bowl with Shanahan,
That's
just like
fair.
Garoppolo did. When it's time to make a
That's fair.
play, they don't make a play. And I think
That's
it's
fair.
time for the Niners to do that. Get to that,
Yeah.
whoever that may be. Let's see here. I appreciate all of the comments too, guys. Seems like they kind of agree with most of the stuff that we're saying too here. Let's see. Terrence said he came back against the Lions, bro. NFC Championship game. That's what Terrence. And he said this about 5 or 10 minutes ago. I'm just now reading it. But T, this is
Yeah.
what you were just saying right here. The game came down to it against Green Bay also. But yeah, look, man, look, I'm not saying that Purdy ain't, pretty good now. I just said he ain't 60 million good. He ain't 50 million good, in
No,
my
I
opinion.
agree with that now.
Terrence said, you said it, bro. Contract only. Look bad because we didn't get a chip. And that's what I need, the chip, baby. I don't care about nothing else when you get that, but we didn't. You don't blow your opportunities. I think we blew ours. It's time to start it over, I believe. And I think somebody came downstairs and said, hey, damn it, give me this. We'll take it from here. And that's why you're starting to see and hear what you're hearing. It doesn't sound anything like they were saying at the 49er exit meeting or press conference when they finished the season after week 18. Let's see here. It's only 2 games. How many other games did he panic and made mistakes trying to fit balls into small windows? 4 rings. You're right. I wasn't gonna tell Terrence that, but he started throwing interceptions in 2024 that was not called for, was not necessary. He was forcing too much. I know Brandon Ayuk wasn't there. I know Debo can't beat man coverage, but man, you gotta find ways, or don't throw the ball when it's not there. That Rams game where we still had a chance to make a run and get to the postseason, get to the playoffs, we lost 6-3 to the Rams, and I mainly was because Dre Greenlaw left the game. Devondre Campbell said, "Fuck y'all, I ain't playing." And Brock Purdy threw an interception in double, triple coverage, and it made no sense. The good quarterbacks are going to call the timeout as that play clock is running down. He snapped it real quick when it still should have been a delay of game, and he just did a Hail Mary. Like, no, stop. That's the game, bro. He did it a few times. Not gonna lie, the defenses have dropped a lot of interceptions that Brock Purdy has thrown. They just haven't been catching them. After he gets paid, watch how they start catching those interceptions. It always happens when they get the bag. That's when they reveal themselves on who they really are. So that's pretty much it. Let's see here. Let's see here. We got. You said you need to see a comeback. What biggest time to have one? I'm more worried about his play and weather. Hey, Terrence, I am too. I was just talking about the 30-40% precipitation, and he will still fumble the ball. He will throw the ball with an open, empty hand, and it's like, damn, bro. Like I didn't see him at the combine. I don't know his hand size, but it definitely ain't big. Because I mean, damn, he can't even hold a wet ball. He starts to press too much when things aren't there, and like I said, Baker Mayfield had a better year, and he got paid 33 per this year. He was better, and again, there was no Mike Evans for half the season. There was no Chris Godwin for most of the season. Mike Evans missed about 5 weeks with a hamstring injury. Came back, act like nothing. But again, Baker Mayfield still was balling. He only gets paid 33. I don't see anything wrong with 45. If Purdy doesn't accept that, he doesn't want to be a Niner, or he doesn't think that, well, he'll find out. He'll fuck around and find out. Because the Niners would have messed it up, but they can't pay him that. And that issue is still coming from who? Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. They dug that hole. They're the ones who paid these people. The Eagles said, no, we're not paying Javon Hargrave. We're going to draft Jalen Carter. The 49ers can sign him. Those dummies can sign him. That's how you do. And now they're Super Bowl champions, and we're not. That's pretty much what it boils down to. Things like that. The Niners have not known the past few years what to let go and what to keep in the building. The one thing that they started when they got there was, we're going to be good in the trenches. After some success, they've kind of gotten away from that. And I think somebody has came downstairs and just took all the paper and ripped it up and said, all right, this is it. We'll take it from here. Just wanted to say that, though, about Brock Purdy and his contract. Who wants to get, what's his name, Slay? and Bradbury. They are available. That's all I got for the sports, man. I'm gonna wrap this thing up with we talked about Sam Darnold. Again, Kyrie is out. That was breaking news. Everybody already talked about it. I don't want to piss Mavs fans off because I know Josiah will come in here and he's probably very upset. We tried to ease the blow and let everybody know how AD and Kyrie are gonna be good together, though. They just got to be on the court together, and unfortunately, they're not gonna be on the court together. And this was the reason why people were pissed when they traded Luka. Kyrie's hurt, and AD was on his way back, but they're saying that he's probably going to shut it down now. That even though I don't agree with that, come on and play and let's see what you look like on the team. Let's see what they look like. We'll have everybody but Kyrie, but Gafford and all those other guys, Lively, they're still out. So yeah, the Mavs are probably going to hang it up. And who knows? Look, Luka got traded from Dallas. Kyrie's out for the season, and there's rumors that Michael Parsons will probably be traded. I don't think Dallas could take another knockout punch like that, but that's exactly what could possibly happen. But that's all I got with the sports, I believe. Yeah, that's it. I want to ask Terrence a question when it comes to the wrestling real quick, and I hope I don't lose any of you. But John Cena turned heel on Saturday night at the Elimination Chamber. And you see it in the back. Terrence is saying, why, Cena, why? I want to ask Terrence the greatest heel turn ever in his opinion. Would it be John Cena and what he just done? Would it be Roman Reigns when he turned heel? Or would it be Hogan in 96 Bash at the Beach or somebody else? And while you think about it, I'm going to read Terrence's comment here. He said, I hope that he takes the 45, but 2 NFC championship games and a Super Bowl appearance is why he gets more than Baker. I hear you, Terrence. Purdy 2 or 3-0 against Purdy as well. Look, man, again, I hope he takes the 45, like you said, and if he does, I'm all good with it. But those 2 NFC championship games and that Super Bowl appearance, that probably would have happened with Josh Dobbs. I hate to say it like that, but not trying to, throw shade at Brock Purdy. But remember, Jimmy Garoppolo got to the Super Bowl with 9 pass attempts. Like if Shanahan can impose his will on you, and they're gonna be good in running the football. And again, Purdy is better than Garoppolo. Don't get me wrong, he is. And we paid Jimmy and went to the Super Bowl. We did that. But a lot of people would say, how much did he do? So like when we're good, we're good. Sometimes it doesn't really matter who the quarterback is. He fits in great. But again, there's still limited things. The air yards, yeah, about 34, 35 air yards is the most I've seen from him. I sure would rather have a Joe Burrow that could just throw that bitch 50 yards deep. And I wouldn't mind it being Jamar Chase, too, that he was throwing it to. But we don't have any of that because Kyle Shanahan likes to draft people that can block and fit the scheme. Like Brandon Ayuk, and say, the hell with Justin Jefferson. He don't fit my offense. And he drafts people like Deebo Samuel, even though A.J. Brown is still sitting there who can play wide receiver. The GOAT, Jerry Rice, told you to draft him. And you said, nah, I'm going to go with this gadget guy in South Carolina. And now you're trading him away. This all falls back on Kyle when you get done. And the only reason why he still has a fucking job is because Brock Purdy, he got lucky that Brock Purdy could actually step in, and it didn't even look like anybody left. The way he facilitated the offense. And that's why he is worth $45 million per. But we're getting carried away if he wants more than that. If he thinks he's worth more than that. Because that's a good team, man. That's why they went. With him, of course. But he ain't that good without those guys. We've seen it. I don't think he has one win without Deebo Samuel. He's about to come back in 2025 and play without Deebo Samuel the whole year. So I'm just saying, brother. Terrence, you've had time to think now. The greatest heel turn ever was?
I am still going to go with Hogan in WCW. But man, let me tell you, what we saw last Saturday, and we talked about it before the show. I had a hunch that it would be Cena. His story made sense. He was already Hollywood, yada yada yada, and stuff. But still seeing it and experiencing it. I'll say this. Hogan's heel turn probably will have more lasting impact than Cena's did. Than Cena's will have,
Yeah.
right? Like Hogan sparked a revolution
Hmm.
that eventually gave us the Attitude Years. I mean, like the business literally changed when Hogan did that. He literally changed the business. Like there's a period before the heel turn and after, right? Um, but I would say Cena's heel turn was probably a lot better executed,
Mm.
and it was executed so well that, like, Jarvis, if you go, I want you to go back and watch that and watch the cameraman, because they didn't know either. So there's a moment after Cody tells Rock to go fuck himself that you can see the cameraman rushing to get out of the ring because Triple H is in his ear telling him, "Hey, we need you to get out of the ring so you can get this shot on Cena's face." Like, but it was executed so well because everybody was in the right places. We already know WWE's production team is second to none. Like,
Yeah.
those guys would never get beat out in production quality. Um, but just kudos to everybody that was a part of that, including Triple H for keeping it a secret. Nobody really knew, but you can still tell. You can see the cameraman repositioning, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I do think that the Hogan heel turn was executed well too, but it was like, looking back on it, it's like, why is Hogan coming to the ring and Sting and Macho Man and Luger already have three guys. They don't need it. They don't need Hogan's help. They already have three guys. So, but anyway,
No, no,
still, it was a great moment. It was a great moment, man. It changed the business. So I'm always going to put that one. Um, my second favorite heel turn is actually Paul Bearer returning heel against
mm,
Taker after
okay.
the Boiler Room Brawl match. That's my second favorite heel turn. But now that's just me being biased because big fan of Taker growing up. I would say in order of heel turns, I'm going to go Hogan. I'm going to put Cena at third right now, and I'm still going to put Romans at second. Listen, and I know the only issue with Roman's heel turn is that it was real subtle. It wasn't like he came out and beat up Rey Mysterio or somebody that people love. He
Yeah.
didn't beat up Michael Cole. He came out. As a matter of fact, I don't even think he beat anybody up that night, right? Yes, he did. No, he didn't beat anybody up.
Was it the
He was
night?
backstage.
Uh-huh.
He was backstage. He was talking, and then they panned the camera over to Paul Heyman. That was a damn heel turn. He saw Paul Heyman, and Roman was like, it's a spoiler, using Paul Heyman's line. And Paul Heyman's like, believe that was the heel turn. But I just remember seeing it, and you weren't watching WWE at the time. I think that was kind of on your hiatus.
Yeah.
And once that thing got cooking, I said, Jarvis, you got to see this bloodline shit they got going on, man. Like, this shit is crazy.
You
But
did.
like, I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that night,
Yeah.
and I said, "Oh my goodness, Roman is going to have that belt for at least 2 years." I knew it at the moment I saw it because
Yeah.
there were no other prominent guys that you could say, "Hey, I want this guy to beat Roman." And hell, Jarvis, had Cody not come over there, Roman would still have it. Like, Cody coming back over to change a lot of things. Um, so yeah, man, I put that in a. I almost want to put it number one because of what Roman did with it.
Uh-huh.
And the listen, we've got main event Jey Uso, we've got Jacob Fatu, we have a lot of guys that are in the main event scene because they did it right. Everybody benefited from it. Sami Zayn, damn it, Sami Zayn benefited from it.
Yeah.
So
Same
I
as
almost want to put that one, but with everything that Hogan did with the Monday Night Wars, the NWO,
yeah.
I'm going to respectfully still put that one, even though none of us care for Hogan. John Cena was executed better than all of those. I just don't know what impact it's going to have, especially with John Cena only having like 10 months left. But it's going to be a hell of a 10 months, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. Um, call me crazy, but I liked MJF's heel turn on Cody in the early AEW days. It was funny. Jim Ross just this is when he still had a little gas left in the tank, as far as his
Yeah.
commentary and
Yeah.
why'd you do that for? Why'd you do that to no good bastard? He still had a little bit left, when he hit us with that, and I thought
Right.
that was good. It's not. I'm not saying it's even top 5, but that was a pretty good
Yeah.
heel turn that I didn't see coming.
Yeah, it was
With
good. No, it was good.
MJF on Cody Rhodes and AEW.
Right.
But yeah, Hogan's number one. It still is, even though he's a piece of shit and I've never liked him, even as a kid. But that was, I never thought I would see the day. And again, I never thought I'd see Cena do this either, especially now. Because like this is your retirement tour, bro.
It's at the end. Yeah, it's at
This
the
is
end.
the
Like
end. It's
I
not
think
gonna
that's what
happen
made it
after,
more
sure.
surprising. That's what made it more surprising is that it's at the end. And we expected for him and Cody to have this little friendship
Yeah,
of a match.
yeah.
Um, so it's an interesting element. I think it depends on what they do with it, man. We can have this conversation again in 5 or 6 months, and we can say this the best. This might be the best damn thing I've ever seen. But until
Very well could
then,
be.
what Hogan did with that thing for a couple of years, 3 years over there, man, like Hollywood Hogan, you could argue that his work as Hollywood Hogan was as good as his work as like Hulkamania Hogan. Hell, it may have been better.
Yeah. What about Stone Cold when he went corporate with
I
McMahon?
didn't care for it, and I and listen to Stone Cold talk about it. He didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
So
Interesting.
I don't really hold it in high regard. It was shocking, but I don't hold it in high regard.
Yeah, I thought it was like you could have just let The Rock win if you were going to do that. I didn't really
Right?
get that
Yeah.
either. Maybe that was just we're gonna swerve the shit out of everybody here. They'll never see this coming. But
Right.
yeah, uh, that was WrestleMania 17, and we know the WrestleMania matches that they had. Austin and Rock. They did it at 15, they did it at 17, and they did it at 19. And if you want to be real, and then we're gonna get out of here, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes should be the new Stone Cold and Rock rivalry. And we should see a third matchup between those two for the World Championship.
I
I don't
agree.
know exactly when.
Agree.
Next year, I think they should get right back to that. And we'll see how this whole thing goes. We'll talk more about Cena, and because we won't see him for another few weeks. He's in South Africa right now filming a movie, and that's the reason why I did not like the move for Cena going heel. Was I shocked? Yes. Was I happy with it because everybody else is, and it broke the internet for days? Yes, I was glad
Yeah.
about it. But the one thing that does disappoint me is that they swerved us telling the dirt sheets the day before that it's going to be Drew McIntyre. They swerved the hell out of me, and I bought it because I'm like, this is who it really should be. Even though I predicted it would be Punk who would sell his soul, like why not? But nobody saw Cena coming. That would be the biggest whoa. But after that, then what? He's not there right now. If it was Drew McIntyre, he could explain himself Monday night
Yeah.
immediately.
He should have been on TV the next day.
Now we
He
gotta
should
wait
have come
3
out on
weeks.
TV the next day
Yeah,
and like got those boos.
yeah.
Now you're gonna wait a few weeks. People are gonna forget about it, and it's not gonna have the same magnitude when he does come out.
And not only that, Terrence, they're gonna when he comes back, they're gonna be on their London tour, their Europe tour, their European tour, where they're gonna be in, I think, Belgium. They're gonna be
You know what's gonna be the problem?
they're
He'll
gonna
still get
cheer
cheered
him.
over there. He'll still
Yeah.
get cheered over
He's
there.
gonna get
Yep.
cheered over there, and it's like, wait a minute, this is not the way we want to see this. The first time we see you since the shit that you pulled at the chamber.
Right.
I don't. They gotta. Maybe they figured out a way to get him flew in or
Do
something,
a
or at least
video. Do a video
yeah,
thing or
yeah,
something. John Cena, reveal yourself, and he,
yeah. Do a video. Do a video. There you go. Yeah, something,
something.
bro. But we can't see you first. You know what I'm saying, in London, and it's like, I mean, in on this European tour, and they're cheering you. Like, no. And again, well, I don't know. When he gets back to the States, that still may be the case because they just
Right.
can't believe it and they love it. He's healed. But I would think not. So, like, you don't want to have to wait until they get back to the States because I think this European tour is going right up until WrestleMania. I don't know. This is the first time they've done this, but I want to say it's like 4 or 5 weeks. And we're
Mhm.
only about 6 or 7 away from Mania. So they're
Right.
not coming back until maybe like the week before Mania. I mean, back to America. So
The
this is going to
17th.
be,
Well, yeah, the week before. Yeah, you're right. Like a week before Mania.
yeah, this is so, I mean, like,
It's not smart to me.
we're not going to see Cena get booed until he gets back, yeah, to the States. So,
No.
yeah, that's not at all to me either. I agree. But that's all I wanted to say, though, Terrence. So, do you think we're going to see Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 41? I've been kind of scratching my head on that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he'll be there. And he's not gonna miss the biggest show. And he's on the London tour. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
he'll be at Mania. Yeah, he'll be at
Okay.
Mania.
And he'll be there to face. Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins. Yeah.
Would it be Seth Rollins only, or would it be Rollins and Punk and Reigns?
Rollins and Punk. I think Rollins and Punk.
I think it should be just Rollins and Punk too. I do. But
he tweeted and said there's going to be receipts. He's got receipts.
Who said that? Oh yeah, Roman did.
Roman. Yeah, so I'm sure he's got receipts for Mr. Rollins. CM Punk, hey, you're not going to get to him before I do. Well, okay, here we go.
But CM Punk, Adam Pearce told Seth Rollins, finish it. And I just thought that the way they said it, very firmly,
They've got a steel cage match Monday.
I think that Punk and Rollins actually, even though I would like to see those two and those two only at Mania, and I predicted that it would be a second match somewhere along the line, and then they would get the Mania for the third and final one. However, looking at it now, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just Rollins and Punk now, Monday night at Madison Square Garden, and then that's kind of it for them. It's going to be so bad. CM Punk is not going to be on television for the next 2 weeks, but he will be ready for the European tour. I'm thinking that it's just such a brutal match. He's hurt, so you won't see him for a while. That feud may actually end with Seth, and then Roman is going to come get his pounds of flesh when he comes out there after Punk has beaten Rollins, and he's going to put him out. Not put him out, but he's going to beat his ass, and now it's Reigns and Rollins for WrestleMania. And I think Punk can say, I'm done with Rollins. I'm cashing in that damn favor. Cena, fuck you. I told you that on Raw because he had a great promo to start the show where he started with Rock and Cena before he got to Rollins. I think he goes right back to that. He said, I'll deal with you guys. I'll see you down the road. But that down the road could be in a couple of weeks when he comes back and he says, I want to insert myself in this damn main event, and I'm going to fight Cody and Cena for the WWE Championship. There's supposed to be more twists. So this could be it. I'm not sure if Punk still isn't going to miss his moment. Just wanted to say that. Reigns and Rollins should probably be by themselves. And we'll see. I think I just lost Terrence, but it's okay because we're wrapping up anyway and we're about to get out of here. It's been a great show. I want to thank everybody that came in and talked and chatted with us. I appreciate your comments. And I thank you for joining. I'll be back to talk more NBA. Kyrie being out. What's next? Are the Lakers going to actually make a playoff run? We'll be back to discuss more of those things later on in the week. But if anybody cares, AEW Dynamite is about to start. They're getting ready for a revolution. I like the facial expression that Terrence just gave us there. I don't. But, if there's wrestling fans here that does. Josiah didn't get to come in. I wanted to talk about Tyler Warren. We'll do it another time, though. Thank you, Terrence. 4 Rings, everybody, LeVar. Appreciate you all coming in here. Thank you. We'll be back. Until then, y'all be safe out there.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace.